it. I don't want you monkey mouth motherfucker sitting in my throne again.
When I first heard the album, I realized it was kind of some mood music. It's not something that you can just like, oh, put on this track and I can just ride to this. It's more so you gotta kind of listen to it, get into it, and appreciate it.
It's one of those albums where I don't think it really has a best song. I think each time you listen to it, another song will pop out to you or it'll make sense at different times. It's an impressive piece of work.
You gotta really like sit down, turn everything off, close your eyes and listen to it. Really appreciate the album. You actually have to pay close attention to it.
This album almost sounds like it wasn't screened by, you know, your typical corporate label heads that are trying to figure out, here's the single, here's the first video. It feels like he was like, this is what needs to be said, and here's who I'm speaking to, and I don't give a fuck.
Kendrick just did something different. Just being able to say what you feel.
This is different from everything else. Like, I love myself, but everybody else is popping bottles and turning up, and it was just like, whoa.
He's going into some seriously relevant topics, touching on some things nobody else has the guts to really say.
What came to me was Nas is Illmatic. Illmatic in the sense that what Nas did well with that album is he captured the moment and the sentiment of a New Yorker. An album for a particular generation at a particular point in time.
First time I listened to Butterfly, it actually did remind me of Outkast's album, Aquemini. The way that they just put together the whole theme and the story, and they weaved it throughout.
And then I think MWA, and then I think Dre. He took me to the West Coast, he took me to the South, and he took me to his sound.
With Kendrick, what he's doing with how he did the poetry, at the very end of that poem, he has a conversation with Tupac.
I see myself as a natural-born hustler, a true hustler in every sense of the word.
Tupac interview was dope.
First time I heard that, I got goosebumps, right? Hearing Pac, hearing audio that a lot of us haven't ever heard before, and I think Tupac represents this force that Kendrick is really trying to embody. I'm trying to continue the conversation that he started, that I'm gonna be in conversation with him.
That's the genius of, like, to me, I feel like Dr. Dre had something to do with that. When those records were made like that, conceptually, like, ooh, that would be dope.
What I think he does with this album, he lets people know at a time when microwave music is being served to us that it's okay to go deep, it's okay to be conceptual, it's okay to, it opens the space for those other artists that I think have been excluded.
Made people pay attention to J. Cole and Joey Badass and maybe some kind of more conscious guys that perhaps they didn't listen to. And I think it just made everybody kind of step up their game.
I said them shit like a slave, copy black. Boy, if you feel money, pain, copy black. I said them.
Where are the NWAs right now? You know what I mean? We don't have that right now. Yeah, we need it, and people are ready for it because it's a lane that's wide open. I think Kendrick found that lane.
And I think there's a broader audience of his peers, you know, maybe it's the 20-somethings, have been looking for more than just a bit and a piece, but want an actual meal, and he gave it to them.
Say this nigga, I thought you said baptized in a pool full of liquor.
Hip-hop could use some purification in the sense that we've gone pretty far away from enlightened lyrics, which is why I'm so into this new Kendrick album.
I think hip-hop needs to be purified of mainstream labels and all the corporations that have been running it for a long time.
I don't think hip-hop needs to be purified. I think hip-hop has to have options. I think hip-hop should really run the gambit and tell a lot of different stories in a lot of different types of ways.
But it's always evolving, it's always moving, as it should. But I would say hip-hop needs some more responsibility.
Will he be successful at purifying hip-hop? I don't know. There's so much bullshit out there that it's hard to get through. If there's anyone that can cut through, I believe it's Kendrick.
K-Dot's addressing everybody. I think what K-Dot's done with his album, I mean, he's brought a lot to the forefront, addressed a lot of what's on people's minds today.
But he's inviting people to have this discussion, he's challenging people, he's questioning himself.
It's like, wake up. Like, even with the album art, you see it. They on the front of the White House turning up. You know what I mean? It's like, it's time for change.
The black community, in particular, the youth in the black community, to try to make a change in how we present ourselves.
There's a huge power in being seen. right, are being acknowledged. And I really feel like Kendrick was reaching out to acknowledge that his people's struggle really exists.
Weaved in different messages, so I think everyone can take something else away, and everyone can challenge themselves to try to find a new meaning in those same lyrics.
One word to describe the album, I'd say next.
Needed.
Revolutionary.
Powerful.
A movie.
Necessary.
It's funk.
It's refreshing. It's really refreshing.